Hi, it's Melissa at Messy Creates. You have met Leo. He's my big glue book. 8.5 by 11-ish, something like that. And so today I want to introduce you to Leo Jr. The same type of book. It's the Artist Law from Michaels, the sketchbook. And Leo is 5.5 by 8. Let's see, mind frame. Yeah, so Leo must be 8.5, 9, outer cover. Yeah, anyway, by 11 or 12. Probably the pages are 8.5 by 11. But anyway, nevertheless, we're going to work in Leo Jr. today. And, where Leo has, this has caused me to go down a rabbit hole of looking through my magazines again, the ones that I've already basically stripped. And, because I can use some of the smaller background images, let me use one as an example. Okay, so for example, now I'm talking about for something that completely covers the background. Now you can patchwork it, of course, but I'm talking about the images that completely cover the background. So in Leo, this one would, it would just cover, and it would cover part, that would be fine. But you'd have to patchwork it in, and that's okay too. But it kind of gave me the idea. I already had this book, and I knew I had the book. So it gave me the idea to kind of look in the smaller one to see. Now I'm going to skip this first page. I didn't do that in Leo. And that first page is always glued in a little extra tight so it doesn't open flat. And so I'm going to skip that in this one. And now this still shows a little bit of border, but you can fix that with washi tape, or you can leave the border and just have a white border around your whole page. Actually, it would go like this. And then because this page was on two separate pages. No, let me try that again. This image was on two separate pages. This one would have to be patched together. But see, that gives me one solid background. And I love the colors in this. If I didn't love the colors in it, I wouldn't, maybe work so hard to try to piece them together. But anyway, I've noticed that for Leo, if you've been watching me work in Leo at all, you've seen this. Now, this one was the first page I did, and I did an image here, an image here, an image here. And I've kind of what I call patchwork this together. This one, I kind of did the same thing a little bit. I had like one large image, and then, I just added, let's see. No, it's a solid background. I just picked the ones that maybe the pictures don't mean anything to me, or sometimes they do. I discussed that in one of my last videos about becoming too attached to my backgrounds. But this right here, look at that. Isn't that just scrumptious? I wish it fit all the way across, but it does not. So I will figure out how to use this. This is absolutely incredible. So you'll probably be seeing that sometime in the near future. What I was going to tell you is in Leo, which is the large sketchbook, my, some magazines are bigger. They're larger than others. And my Real Simple, when I can find, a lot of times I will look for backgrounds in Real Simple to use for Leo. And because they fit the entire page. There's a small little white border either at the top or the bottom, and which is easily covered with even a thin strip of washi, and then there's some overhang on the side. So it gives a lot of grace, like when you're tearing out the pages, because you can very easily trim that off. So my Real Simple, and then I had one, I want to say it was a Better Home and Garden that was bigger. I don't know if that was a special edition or an older magazine or a newer one. I don't know. But I know I found some larger images. So just in case you were wondering, the Real Simple Images, and I love the color in this one. I will definitely be using this one very soon. Now, what I'll try to do is find one that kind of matches the color scheme. Again, it doesn't have to be a double page, but I do like for them to at least be the same color scheme. So whenever I find a background that works for, you know, that semi-matches that one, I will, you know, I'll do that page. So, but for Leo Jr., my smaller magazines like Better Home and Garden, People Magazine. Well, People doesn't have a lot of backgrounds. I find a lot Better Homes, Good Housekeeping, Southern Living, Garden and Gun, things like that. I find a lot of images that are too small to completely cover a background in Leo, but look at this one. It completely makes a page, even without all that writing up top. It has that little piece. The only thing I'd have to cover is this down here. And then I have this beautiful background, and it's just an outdoor background. So that was my reason for starting Leo. And I had a lot of smaller, you know, like these little images. I haven't finished cutting this one out, but my smaller images that were kind of getting lost. I sat here last night and had a chat with a friend and was cutting out lots of images. And I found a lot of smaller words and, you know, just small images. So I need to sit down and organize my images because I want to separate the smaller ones from the larger ones now. But anyway, so backgrounds mainly. And the smaller fussy cut images I still have separated mostly by color. Color or theme. So I found this little guy. I've had him cut out for a while. And of course he would have worked in Leo too. But he kind of got a little lost on Leo. But look at him on Leo Jr. Is he not precious? So I was trying to find something that would work with him. I had a page. I've been kind of stumped on this page for a while because I had a background that I was building a page on. And then I thought, oh, he looks so cute. It was like this pretty girl and he's looking at this pretty lady. But I never could find it. I couldn't make it cohesive. So I kind of backed up and punted, and I made him kind of my main image. And I just needed like an outdoor background. So this has, you know, just the lounge chairs and the picnic table and the umbrella, so on and so forth. Now this one, I do need it to jump this ditch. So I'm going to have to do this very carefully because I have this little section right here that tore. I need to make sure I allow myself enough room on this side. So I'm going to have to do it right up to that tear, that torn place. And then once I have that glued in, I wanted some just solid filler right here in this corner. So that's actually going to be the first piece I glue in. And I found, so if he sits right here, my little lady didn't work. But look at this cute little girl. She's smelling something. It looks like it smells good. So this little boy is looking over at her like, oh, she's cute and he's cute. Look at that smile, and he's eating a cupcake, kind of like he's at a picnic. So look what I found, a hot dog. And she's smelling all the goodies. And because this is a picnic, we have a picnic basket. And I almost don't need this piece. Let me see if I can make it work without that piece. But the problem is if I need it glued down first. So, and sometimes you don't realize all these little, like, I left that blue under her neck, and I probably could have cut it off. But, let me think. Was I trying to cover the blue? No, I think that's the first piece that needs to go down. So, you know, it's like a puzzle. You kind of got to put it together, and this is how I do it anyway, because I like to, I like to know, instead of just randomly gluing, this is not really a random glue book, although it could be considered that. I'm trying to figure out how I have this picnic basket. Picnic basket. I may cut that little blue strip off of her is what I'm trying to decide. I don't know why I left it on, to be honest with you. I just did. And this little gap right here now is okay, except look, I found this little turtle. And, you know, he's cute too. So I like the real images and then that little mix of the animated. And originally I had him with some cologne behind him, and then I found the hot dog. The cologne looks good too, except, look what I found. I found this can of Ready Whip. Now, if I play my cards right, and I have all this lined up just so, it might look like it's squirting down on this cupcake. I'm hoping it's not going to cover up his face or whatever. So, when we get, this will be the last piece I put on. So, I'm either going to use the cologne. Oh, the cologne would have to go like this. I'm either going to use the cologne or the can of Ready Whip. So, knowing all of that, I think I'm going to trim this blue off of her, or at least this section. No, let me go ahead and trim it all off, because I definitely don't want that bright blue in there. And I could trim it off of here too. You can tell that's where I cut out her, I cut something out, I don't know. Anyway, so now that doesn't cover, maybe that's why I left the blue strip on. Yeah, there's a, but anyway, the little gap won't show because this will be over here. So, okay, now let's get to gluing. Because if I have time, I want to play, I mean, like, look at this background. Look at the colors. And I thought about, you know, if I have some time left over after I get done with this page, I thought I might play with some other backgrounds and just see if we can find, you know, sort through them and see if we can find some that work. But I know I usually don't end up with extra time at the end of videos, so I know that's probably pushing it. And look at the little doggy. Isn't he precious? And, you know, being in the smaller book, he looks really big. You know, being in Leo, he would work in either. But, you know, it's nice to have options. And I know I'm getting off track here, but look, I loved these 2 pages. Why? I don't know. I love the ticking, that fabric. I love that vintage fabric. I love the galvanized. I love old jars. And this looks like it's sitting on like a toolbox. But I was thinking these 2 kind of match. And they're not ones that I would probably use in Leo, because you gotta, you know, but they fit these pages perfectly. Now I've got some words to deal with over here. But I just thought, you know, it's just kind of fun, you know. I don't know. I don't have a clue as to what I would put on top of it, but I might find a tool. I might find a cool lantern. I might find a red rooster. You just never know. And I'd like to get to the point where I have some of these backgrounds glued in. And then I can just, you know, take some of my fussy cuts and play. So instead of just start to finish creating one page, although I do like doing it that way too. So anyway, we're just going to play, and I already have everything cut out. So this shouldn't take too long. I never have a wax sheet handy when I need it. I've got hundreds of them floating around this room somewhere, but they're never where they are when I need them. Let's see, where is my little just abstract piece? Right here. Okay. I've got my Scotch Create, what I've got left of it, and then I'm going to have to switch to something different. I have not found any Scotch Creates yet. I'll finish that thought in just a second. Give me just a second. Let me glue this down. I want it overlapping a little bit so I can trim off that fringed area a little bit. Well, I didn't allow myself a whole lot, but it went down nicely. I was given this glue pen, the Scotch Create glue pen in Happy Mail, and it's more of a wet glue. It's got a dauber end on one end, and it's got a fine tip on the other. I have not used this in a glue book setting yet. I'm not sure because it's wet. My thought process is that it will wrinkle the magazine. It'll, you know, wet will warp a magazine image pretty quick. So I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use that. It works great in my journal, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use that on a glue book page. Andy from Lottie's Faith gave it to me in a Happy Mail. If you are watching and you know it will work on a magazine image, I'll do a trial one at some point. But I don't think about it until I sit down to do it. And then it's like, you know, I'm already started, so I don't want to take the chance. It takes a little longer to dry than a regular glue stick. So I'm a little bit afraid that it will, you know, warp a little bit. If you know otherwise, feel free to tell me otherwise. Okay, so I'm going to put the glue on this page because it's going to completely cover this page. And then I'm going to glue a little section. I'm not sure if I need to cut that. Sometimes when you try to jump the ditch, it comes out on the other side not so straight. But I don't want to cut it if I can help it. Because lots of things can happen when you cut it. So I'm going to attempt to put a little bit of glue right there. Maybe do one more swipe. And let's see. And then I'm going to put it, I'm going to line it up at the bottom. And I have to quit breathing and quit talking because apparently I cannot glue and breathe and talk all at the same time. Anybody with me? Okay, so I've got it smooth up to here. Not sure where my other... Oh, it's got to be under here somewhere. My other bone folder that I really like to do this with. Okay, that looks like... Nope, see, it's coming up down here just a little bit. It always does that, though. It's okay. It's just a little bit. And I had plenty of room at the top to work with. See how it comes up a little bit right here? But I think that's about where I'm going to have that turtle, maybe. So, nope, wrong glue stick. So, I might not have to worry about that. Let me add another strip of glue here. I think I put it over too far, but that's okay. It's eventually going to get glue on it. There we go. Okay, that went down fairly easily. And I need to do some trimming, but I'm going to put this image on first. I'm going to put the little girl on next. Seeing how I have wet glue right there. So I'm going to put the glue on her, not on the page for this one. The other way is just easier to put it, when it covers the whole page, it's just a lot of times easier to put it on the page. But this one, that's not the case. Pardon my reach for just a second. I'm going to try to stand up over the book, but not get my head in the camera. Probably should have trimmed that off before I put her on, so that I would know. See, because I didn't line it all the way up to the edge. Come on, little girl. There we go. That's better. I do not know the one that I like, my ergonomically correct one, or whatever you want to call it. My Dress My Craft one that I usually use. It's usually sitting right here to my right. Oh well. I'm sure it will show up here in just a minute when I don't need it. Okay. It's okay. It's all good. All right, now I'm going to do some trimming and see where all of my lines are here. Where to start? Where to start? Let's start with this little bit, just that little bit of torn edge right there. Oh, that's going to make a lovely little paper shredded mess. So, have you been liking the, I know that I don't do them regularly, or my goal was to try to do like a glue book video a week. I have yet to accomplish that. I have been struggling getting my journal videos made too. I have mentioned before it is garden season, so that has been taking a good bit of my time. And I want to say it'll slow down a little bit, but it will slow down a hair before it picks back up is what'll happen. Because May gets really busy, because then you've got all the harvesting. Right now you have all the planting going on. And I've got, you know, extra plants in my greenhouse. I still have a good bit to plant. I'm trying to weed beds. I'm trying to do all the things. And, you know, I don't do things as fast as I used to. You know, because of the mobility issue. But I'm just grateful that I can do them. Right? So, I just have to allot more time for things. All right. That was messier than I thought. All righty. Looks like I need a little smidge of glue right here in this top corner. I was trying to do it without creasing. These magazine images crease so easily. Okay, so right now we have the whole background covered except for that little strip right there, which is where the blue was. So I hope I don't regret cutting off the blue, but I think this picnic basket covers it, yeah. So the picnic basket can go like this. It covers the edge of her neck, which I like. Or if it goes this way, no, see, it covers this down here, but it leaves a gap right here. So the picnic basket is going to have to go like this. I didn't cut it all the way out because I'd rather have this little bit of green right here than that line, where those two seams meet. So I think that can go down next. I put them together and then sometimes I forget which order they have to go down, but if you want them overlapping in a certain way, you have to put some down first and some down last, right? I watch people's videos that do truly random, or I guess that's what, in my view, that's what random is, where they just put down images, you know, on the back and then worry about what goes on top later. I have not gotten there yet. Let's see. This goes this way. I am still operating within the parameters of my brain. You know, we got to keep our brain happy. I'm not sure that... No. I just said I wasn't going to do that way. Oh, no. Hurry. Come on. I just got through saying I wasn't going to put that on that direction. And then what do? I put that on that direction. Nope. This way. Yeah. Okay. I may have to re-glue it. We shall see. Yeah, let's start over. Let's just put glue on it and start all over. It's still pretty sticky, but, and it's very curled at the moment. I knew I was going to do that. Well, I didn't know I was going to do that, or I would have stopped myself from doing that. Okay, so it goes this way. Now I think I got it right. It looks better. As it sits, it looks better the other way to me. But I needed it to cover right there. And it still didn't completely cover it, but it's pretty darn close. Because this little section right here is covered up. And it's going to have this little turtle here. So it will be just fine. Now, if I can come back and find a little bow or a little butterfly or something, there's just that little, I don't know if you can see it or not. And I probably should zoom you in. Let me zoom you in just a hair since this is a smaller book. I'm so used to having to have it zoomed out because the other book is so big. Now I want to make sure I don't go out of frame. Okay. Is that right? Now this little guy can't go down just yet, but I need him to hold a place. I need you to hold right there and be still. It's hard to do this when, you know, you don't have your background glued in all the way and you're trying to hold it together. And then sometimes when you actually go to glue it in, you realize you have a little hairline gap. And you also realize when you go to glue stuff down that you have the faintest of little white borders where you don't want them. Because when they're on a dark background, I guess, they really stand out. Let's see. Let me see how that looks a little better. Okay, so if I do that, and then I'm going to glue the hot dog down right there. The turtle goes here. I could go ahead and glue the turtle down because nothing else is affecting him. And then the last thing would be this can of Ready Whip. I don't want it to cover his face, though, so I'd have to angle it a little bit. And I'm not 100% sure I want to use it, but I found it kind of at the last minute, and I thought it was kind of cute. It doesn't have to have anything up there, but, you know, if you can, you can, right? Let me glue the little turtle down, because I know where he's going. He's easy. And he was at the bottom of the page of this Ready Whip can, I do believe. Let's see. I think we want him right there, because he covers up that little seam, like the three-way seam. I still see this gap right here, and I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do about it at this point other than put a little strip of washi there, but I would have wanted to do that before I put down the turtle in the basket. So we're going to pretend that's not there, and you probably can't even see it unless you're watching it like maybe on a big TV or something. So the next thing that goes down is the hot dog because it goes behind the boy. I wish that we could see more of the picnic table, but I kind of like the hot dog behind him. So you get the hint of a picnic table back there. And plus you can see these pretty flowers. I kind of like it sticking up like this. Wait a minute. Let me check real quick. I think that might be why I dropped it down. Yeah, see, I think I'm either going to lose a lot of that can. The Ready Whip is cuter, I think, than the cologne. The cologne was just because it's like she's smelling, he smells good, right? He smells like cupcakes and hot dogs and cologne. But then I kind of liked something coming down from this top corner up here. Kind of like that. So I might do that. And then that would free me up to put the hot dog up a little further. So I'm thinking, even though I kind of like the idea of I want it to go right there on that cupcake, and it's not going to tilt the way I want it to. And still see that edge up there. Well, if I put, okay, let me put the hot dog there. And I could put the can of Ready Whip before the boy, but I'm afraid it's going to hide that little nozzle, and I really didn't want that. I'm thinking. Bear with me. It's going to cut off that much of that can. You still get the idea of what it is, but all right, let's just glue down the hot dog first. Because I was only doing all of that to see where about I needed to put this hot dog. And I realized that my glue book pages are probably a little more like collages than they are glue book pages, but I have fun doing them, so, you know, it is what it is. Maybe one day I will work up to random, truly random. But for today, this is as random as I get. Okay, so now that the hot dog doesn't move, it will be easier to place this guy. The more moving pieces, the more pieces you have glued down, the easier it is. Yeah, see, it covers up his face if I have it where I want it. That's not too bad. Okay, that actually might work. I don't want it squirting in the hot dog. That just sounds gross. Okay, I'm putting the little boy down because that will determine whether or not we use the can of Ready Whip or we use the cologne. I only was hesitating because just on the off chance that I needed to glue. Oh no, I just tore him big time. Okay. Well, that changes things a little bit. So I either glue him down. No. Okay, stay right there for a second. Cannot believe I did that. When I leave my glue stick open like this, it gets very, very tacky. It doesn't glide. I know it's supposed to be sticky. I get that. But it doesn't, trying to slide this little piece of, this is the little piece I just tore off of him. And I'm gonna try to reattach him, line him up. Bless his little heart, I broke his shoulder. Well, I broke more than his shoulder. Okay. Well, that doesn't look too bad. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it. He's down a little further than I wanted him. But see, when I leave it open like that, that's why I recap my glue so often. I know it's probably a pain because I do it so frequently. It's probably a pain to watch. But when the top gets dry, even a little bit, it doesn't glide over these images very easily. Okay, so now everything's glued down except for this can of Ready Whip. So it's either got to go, if I'm going to use it, I want the nozzle like right there. And see, I just had to move him a little bit. What do you think? Would you do the can of Ready Whip? Or would you do the cologne? Or would you just skip? Okay, see, if I was going to do the cologne, I was going to do it under him. That's right. Ooh, that glue doesn't usually let me pick it up. I was thinking, he put on cologne because he's trying to impress this cute little girl, and she's over here all in her feels because, she's smelling, like I said, cupcakes and hot dogs and cologne. And I think I can save the can of Ready Whip for something like ice cream. Okay, let me do that. But I definitely want it behind him, which means now I'm going to crease his poor little head when I have to put down more glue underneath him. Bless his little heart. I broke his arm. Seems like I tear something in every video these days. Let's see. I know all my hands and arms and everything are all up in this picture. Let's see. I can scoot it up. There we go. And trim off that little bit of an edge. And then I'll put it on the page. This might be where, yeah, okay, I didn't have to crease him too badly. Okay. That might be a case where a smaller glue stick would be more beneficial. So I probably do need to have one of each size. But I think that's where we are. I'd love to find a little butterfly to put on the tip of her nose. And I think that would be sweet. Right here, I have kind of a harsh line. But she just looks like she's behind the scenes, you know. And I could put a strip of washi there, but I think that would look more awkward. I don't know. What do you think? I don't have any super handy. I would want it just to be a thin strip. This is the only one I have, like, right here handy. And I don't really like that, because that just looks weird. It just looks very, very random. Come to, you know, speaking of random, looks very random. Looks a little too random. Let's see. Okay. Well, I might actually, I'm done with this page for right now, but you know, I can always come back. I can always find some little piece of something. Nothing. I cut out some stuff last night. I mean, if I hadn't had the picnic basket, I could have put some flowers like that or something like that, you know, but I don't really need them. I could do that and put them in her hair, but I don't think it's necessary. I think I'd rather find a little butterfly. It's not going to be in this basket. This basket is other backgrounds. And, well, honestly, I sat there and went through a bunch of magazines last night. And I found a bunch of images. And I just cut out a bunch of stuff. That's not necessarily for Leo. I mean, it's for Leo, not Leo Jr. But anyway, I'm going to go through, yeah, I need to go through and separate my images here. This is one of the things I was looking for. So I found, I mean, like, okay, I know this is a weird background, but like this casserole, if that was the colors I was looking for, that would match. I mean, the casserole almost covers up the whole page. So, and same with this little hydrangea. So I need to go through and maybe put some things together. I thought this would make a beautiful background. I just love the colors. I'm trying to just pay attention to the colors and not... Okay, this apparently is not the... Yeah, maybe it is. It's not what I was looking for originally. I thought it was, but maybe I was wrong. There's another page that I'm wanting to do. There was another image I was looking for because I was going to show you, even if I leave borders like that, I just think that's such a beautiful image. I would just, if I'm going to do that, I would leave like an equal border around it, or put it all the way in the corner and then fill up the whole page. But I had some other, this was going to be my attempt at random, is what it was. Kind of like the collage, maybe not that picture, but I had some other background images that were, yeah, that wasn't the right basket, apparently. Oh, here we go. This is the one. So green, and this is the one I was thinking would match it. I love this because, you know, we already talked about I love my ironstone. And, except I have a problem covering it up. So I was thinking if I have kind of the same color scheme, that galvanized and blue and the white. I don't know though. I don't know if I can do that, y'all. How are y'all at doing? This is what in my mind is random, right? Am I calling that right? Or maybe it's not random because I'm trying to match colors. So for those of you who can just go and glue down pictures willy-nilly, kudos to you, because some of us struggle doing it. Yeah, I don't know. But I was kind of thinking something like that, except I need another little strip of background image that kind of goes with that. It kind of looks primitive to me. So I don't know. What do y'all think? What's your advice to me? Because I'm still fairly new at this. Okay, this to me kind of goes, but not really. Kind of, but not really. And it's not really going to help. Maybe it will a little. Not really. I don't know. So I've just been kind of playing. This has had me stumped a little bit, because I'm thinking in a little bit different direction. But it kind of opened the door up to use some different images, in my opinion. So I've been sort of playing. I've been trying to make this video for about a week now. And what ends up happening is I just play. And I've been playing around with what works and what doesn't work, and what backgrounds I can use. I mean, I love stuff like this. See what I mean? I love, it's got all those bright colors. I just need one more that kind of is in that color scheme. But I love stuff like this. I love, to use this stuff as backgrounds. So what do you use on your backgrounds? You tell me. This one is ideal. And I even thought about using the kids' corner for a page. I have another one that I found, I thought, that would go right here. But I can't put my hands on it right this very second. But, okay, so for example, like this is a larger image. This would work in Leo. But let's say, for example, you needed to really cover up most of your background because it's not amazing. She would definitely do that, right? Or if you had to like seam it together and you were trying to hide a seam, she would definitely. So I like this size, even though I'm struggling with it just a little bit. But I don't know. Tell me what you think. But I was just going through cutting out everything that, see, that fits perfectly. So now I just need to sort, right? At least get them kind of in the same color schemes. Is that how you do it? If you're going to attempt doing random, and then you just put an image over it, right? Not this particular image, but I don't know. I'm just playing. I'm having fun, though. And I think that's all that matters, right? But I have also made a mess. And so I need to sort my images. That's what I need to do. But I'm very glad that I got to finally put this little boy and this little girl together on the same page, because I think they're both adorable. And I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know how I feel about the videos where I already have everything all cut out and all whatever. I mean, maybe that's the fun part of it to you. I thought about doing one where I find the images and glue them on, although I have a feeling that would be a very, very, very long video. I can edit it a little bit if I had to. But what do you like? What is your preference? I creased it. Darn it. Let's see if I can uncrease it. Maybe. Anyway. Okay, so this page is a wrap now he's got wrinkles on his other arm. Okay, so I broke this arm, and now I wrinkled this arm. I'm doing fabulous. But I am going to be on a look for a butterfly. I think the butterfly on her nose would be cute. What can you think of? I would love something that would go here. It's just going to be one of those things that I have to, when I see it, I'll know it. Just to hide that little bit of a seam right there. And maybe that little seam. But, I don't know. I will know it when I see it. If you have any suggestions, I would absolutely love to hear it. And I hope that you enjoyed this. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get videos out. I was jamming last week. And I got several videos out in a row. They were journal and whatnot videos. They weren't Gluebook, but I was trying to get a Gluebook video out. And I was just really struggling with putting a page together for some reason. So, but I think it's because my brain was going in little and big directions. So it's something new, right? But I think it's fun. I think it opens up a door to use some images that I might not otherwise use. So anyway, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.